All right, team, let's get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer. As a senior consultant, I've had a front row seat to how AI is completely transforming our everyday workflows. And, well, we've all seen the headlines about hiring algorithms going totally off the rails, right? The truth is, AI is incredibly powerful. It's unbelievably fast, but it is definitely not foolproof. With these shiny new tools comes some really insidious new blind spots. So my goal today is to give you a highly practical playbook for calibrating your AI judgment skills. We're going to train your eye to see exactly what the AI is doing behind the curtain so you can leverage all that speed without adopting its flaws.
Okay, let's dive into this idea right out of the gate. AI is not neutral. We really need to shatter this myth of perfect machine objectivity. It's so easy to assume that because a computer spat out a summary, it must be this purely impartial, entirely logical evaluation. But here's the thing. AI doesn't actually think. It absorbs. It absorbs and then regurgitates the massive amounts of human training data it was fed. And let's be real, human language is totally packed with biases. When AI learns from us, it learns our prejudices right alongside our grammar. So here is our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by unpacking the illusion of objective AI, just to really understand the root of the issue. Then we'll get super tactical in Section 2, identifying the very specific, common bias patterns hiding in your AI outputs. In Section 3, I'm going to hand you our Fairness Check Protocol, which is a concrete framework you can use immediately. And finally, we'll cover exactly how to fix these biased outputs right there in your workflow.
Starting off with Section 1, the illusion of objective AI.
We've got to recognize that the AI tools we're using, they don't have malicious intent. An AI doesn't wake up in the morning and decide to be prejudiced. It simply learns statistical patterns from our own deeply flawed language and reflects those patterns right back at us. This is what we call AI training bias, the absorption of human biases like deeply ingrained gender stereotypes or subtle age assumptions from training data that end up in the AI's final output. As a professional, your job, and really what we're calibrating today, is to catch these biases before they influence critical organizational decisions. The AI handles the volume, you have to handle the nuance.
And here's why this matters so much. Blindly trusting AI isn't just an ethical failure. It is a massive legal liability waiting to happen. If an AI tool outputs a biased summary that leads your team to a discriminatory hiring decision, the liability falls squarely on the organization. We're talking violations of Title VII, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, the ADA. The EEOC actively investigates this stuff. But honestly, even beyond the legal and financial risks, there's direct, tangible harm to real candidates who lose out on opportunities they fully deserve simply because an algorithm unfairly judged their profile.
Which brings us to Section 2, identifying common bias patterns.
This is the agitation phase of our playbook. I want you to start looking really critically at the subtle red flags hidden in the AI summaries you read every day. Because bias in AI is rarely overt. It usually shows up as a quiet little shift in vocabulary. Let's start with gender coding. This happens when the AI uses language that is implicitly masculine or feminine to describe the exact same behavior. In a corporate setting, words like aggressive, assertive, or driven are frequently masculine coded by algorithms. Meanwhile, nurturing, supportive, or collaborative are feminine coded. The AI learned this mapping from millions of historical documents, and it applies it relentlessly.
Let's look at how this actually plays out in a real scenario. Imagine you have two candidates with identical interview notes about how they handle conflict. Both of them prefer gathering input before making a choice. Notice how the AI might split the evaluation. For the male candidate, it outputs strong leadership, decisive, willing to make tough calls. But for the female candidate, who demonstrated the exact same behavior, it outputs collaborative, seeks consensus, may struggle with hard decisions. Do you see that? The AI assigns a positive, decisive spin to the man and a hesitant, cautious spin to the woman. That is a massive bias signal.
Next up, we have age proxy terms. Age bias in AI is notoriously sneaky. Why? Because it hides behind trendy corporate buzzwords. AI loves to use proxy words that imply a certain age bracket instead of just focusing on specific demonstrated skills.
For example, for an early career candidate, the AI might summarize them as a digital native, energetic, quick learner. But for a senior candidate applying for the exact same role with identical technical qualifications, the AI suddenly switches to mature, stable, experienced, maybe overqualified. Framing a younger candidate as eager and an older one as overqualified when they have the same skills is a glaring red flag. We need to assess everyone on consistent performance criteria, not assumed energy levels.
Now, let's talk about disability bias. Check out this classic AI hallucination. The AI says, might struggle with our high-energy environment based on an employment gap. The AI sees a gap on a resume and basically hallucinates a whole narrative about a lack of stamina or fit. But let's be real. That gap could be for medical leave, caregiving, or a perfectly reasonable accommodation. We have to evaluate candidates based strictly on demonstrated capability, not a machine's totally baseless assumptions.
Family status is another major trap. An AI might spit out something like, mentioned having kids, might not want to travel. Think about that for a second. It's making completely unsupported assumptions about a candidate's availability or commitment based solely on their family status. The objective truth we should be looking for is much simpler. Did they explicitly state a travel preference, and does it work for the role? Never, ever let the AI assume someone's professional boundaries based on their parenting status.
We also have to be incredibly vigilant about national origin and cultural bias. The AI might tell you, has an accent, might struggle with client communication. Team, I need to be crystal clear on this. Speaking with an accent does absolutely not equate to a struggle with communication. AI frequently conflates a non-native accent with a lack of proficiency. We have to manually strip that out and focus only on the actual objective communication capability demonstrated during the interview.
And finally, let's expose education and socioeconomic bias. You might see an output like, didn't go to a top school, probably not technical. This is where AI drastically overweights traditional pedigree over actual learnable fundamentals. A candidate might have phenomenal skills from a coding bootcamp, or maybe they are self-taught. If the AI penalizes them for lacking a traditional 4-year computer science degree, it's missing the plot. Always pivot back to demonstrated skills.
All right, moving into Section 3, the Fairness Check Protocol.
Identifying the problem is a great start, but I want to give you our ultimate solution, a structured framework to neutralize these threats every single day. This is your literal cheat sheet, the Fairness Checklist. I want you to mentally run through the specific list every single time you review an AI-generated assessment. Ask yourself, are behaviors being interpreted differently by gender? Are older candidates being described as stable while younger ones are energetic? Are medical gaps being framed as motivation issues? Are we making leaps about kids, college degrees, or accents? If you hit yes on any of these, you've found a bias.
Now, I hear you. I know you are all incredibly busy, and adding steps to a workflow always feels a bit daunting. But I promise you, once you train your eye to spot these linguistic patterns, this fairness check will only add maybe 2 to 3 minutes to your review time. It becomes second nature. And let me tell you, those 2 to 3 minutes are the difference between building an innovative, inclusive team and creating an embarrassing legal nightmare.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Fixing Biased AI Outputs.
Because simply spotting the bias is only half the job, right? We're consultants. We solve problems. We have to fix it. Here's a 3-step escalation protocol for scrubbing bias out of your results. Step 1 is immediate triage. Just revise the output directly to neutralize the language. Change nurturing to collaborative, or just delete the baseless assumption about travel. Step 2, if the entire document feels skewed, push back. Ask the AI to revise it with specific guidance. Tell it directly, hey, this output contains gender bias. Revise it to focus strictly on job-relevant information. And Step 3, this is where the real magic happens. Set better constraints up front in your prompt so it doesn't happen in the first place. Tell the AI beforehand not to assess capability based on educational pedigree or age proxies.
Now, I do have to flag a massive warning here. This right here is a dangerous anti-pattern, fixing individual biases without fixing the actual process. Think about it. If you just edit the final document so it looks clean to the client, but you don't update your core AI prompt for the next time, you're just patching a leak. You're not fixing the pipe. If you see biased language and just brush past it, you are normalizing discrimination and guaranteeing you'll repeat the same mistakes. You have to catch it, fix it, and update your prompt to prevent it.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to reflect on. What type of bias do you think you are most likely to miss in an AI output? Seriously, challenge your own blind spots. Think about your daily workflows. Fair decision-making doesn't just happen by accident. It happens because professionals like you actually take the time to check. Take this playbook, apply it to the very next AI summary you generate, and let's elevate the standard of our work. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.